Greetings. Today we're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease and dementia and about migraine headaches. A lot of people have their parents, the aunt or the uncle who have Alzheimer's. So we're going to teach you today how to kind of repair it, because in the medical system they say you can't fix. That's not true. Right? Now we had a video yesterday on the fast for 5 days, and people don't listen. You have to do that flush for one night. The next day you start on your cane juice, your water with the lemon in there. Squeeze your lemon in there, the water, and you have that every morning to move the digestive, move the grease from your digestive system. And then you have your little juices that you make to build the blood. Alright? If you have diabetes, you must have a machine to check your sugar levels. And if you have hypertension and you are on a 5-day program, you must have a pressure machine to check your pressure twice per day for blood pressure and diabetic checks. And you must log it down. And at the end of the fast, you have to communicate with me and let me know how your pressure and sugar read when you are not taking your medication. That is important. Diabetics, when you are on the 5-day program, you must have some kind of meal. So soups are not bad without the food. And you must not use the fruit juices, only the vegetable juices if you are a diabetic and you want to embark on the program. Alright? That's significant. Alright? I'm on the program. That's my first day. I'm going for 7 days. Alright, so we're going to communicate as we go on the program. Okay? Wonderful. But today we're going to talk about Alzheimer's disease. And they say everything is in the brain, right? Now, Alzheimer's starts in what we call the hippocampus of the brain and the cerebral cortex of the brain. That is the part of the brain that deals with language, cognition, and memory. Because when you have dementia or you have Alzheimer's, it's because you forget and you move to, you could go to Georgia and think you're in New York. All right? That's a sign of it. All right. But once minerals are depleted from this particular part of the brain, especially magnesium, because magnesium regulates serotonin, a mood regulator or brain chemical. And if there is not enough magnesium in this part of the brain, you're going to suffer from Alzheimer's disease and dementia. We're going to talk about that. All right? But everybody is talking about the brain. But nobody's talking about over here. Because that is where everything comes from. The brain depends on this here, because this is your sewage system. This is where you keep all your waste. So if you have waste lingering in your intestine, the large intestine that is, and you have a lot of toxins flowing back into the walls and getting back into your bloodstream, common sense will tell you that is going to affect your brain, because blood goes to your brain also. So if you have a contamination of the blood, and there is acid in the blood, then all these toxins get into your brain and deplete a lot of the minerals that is found in the hippocampus of the brain. And if you are prone to getting Alzheimer's disease, that's what you're going to get when you get older. And there's other things that cause Alzheimer's. So let's talk about what causes it. All right? Okay. You didn't born with Alzheimer's. You didn't born with it. You develop Alzheimer's disease. You didn't born with migraine headaches. You develop it because of the way you used to eat when you were younger. Dead atoms, artificial foods, eating late at night, being constipated, not going to the bathroom well. You start contaminating your blood. And once your blood became contaminated with lots of acid in your blood, you start to get all these conditions when you become older, because it catches up with us long term. Don't forget that now. That's what it is. A few things contribute to Alzheimer's. First, heavy metal poisoning. Aluminum, mercury. Aluminum in your pots. Aluminum in your acid that you drink to drop the acid in your stomach. Aluminum in your deodorants. Aluminum in your aluminum foils. All these things contribute to aluminum getting in the part of the brain called the hippocampus and the cerebral cortex, and cause you to have dementia long term because they didn't born with it. You understand? That's one cause. Second cause is atherosclerosis, hardening of your arteries. If there is not enough blood flowing to the brain properly, because you have clogging of the arteries, you are going to be deficient in certain minerals which the brain needs, and then you're going to come down with Alzheimer's long term. Those are contributors. Third, the deficiency of nutrients. If older people, usually older people, have a lacking of acid in the stomach, and if you have what we call hypochlorhydria, and when you become older that happens, you start to not digest or absorb certain nutrients, so you become deficient in these minerals and vitamins that is found in the brain. If, over here, you are constipated, because lots of older people is constipated because they kill the muscles in the intestines. If you are constipated and you don't have no waste moving out from here, what's going to happen to you? Common sense going to tell you. I'm a common sense person now. I have to be educated now. Common sense going to tell you that if you have contamination of the blood because you are constipated and not moving your waste out of this organ, common sense going to tell you now that it's going to come back into your blood, in the walls of your colon, into your liver, and your liver, if it's not working well, would never be able to function with the first and second phase of detoxification, and the blood will become contaminated and is going to get into your brain. And once the blood is contaminated and get into your brain, it's going to deplete all the minerals that you need in the hippocampus and the cerebral cortex of the brain. And then if you are prone to getting now Alzheimer's, that's what you get. Let's talk about treatment. So we know you didn't born with Alzheimer's now. You didn't born with it. Doctor won't tell you that. They tell you you can't fix. But God put everything on this earth, plants that have all these things in there to heal you, because your body heals itself. Acetylcholine, you need that in the brain. And you need lecithin to enhance the function of acetylcholine. If you have Alzheimer's, you're lacking in that. Brainwave, made by a wonderful company. And once I give my patients Brainwave, they have memory coming back like nothing. Brainwave, have all these things in there. Brain energy. If the person have Alzheimer's and their brain is dying, we give them brain energy to enhance the function of the brain and give the brain energy. And L-theanine. You must give your patients that, or your parent that, once they have Alzheimer's disease. If you have Alzheimer's, magnesium is being depleted. Sulfate now, magnesium sulfate is being depleted by all the heavy metal you have deposited in that part of the brain we call the hippocampus. And once magnesium is depleted, magnesium deals with nerve function, neurotransmitter function, and also memory in the hippocampus of the brain. B100 and DMAE, look them up, because they are significant in the recovery of all Alzheimer's patients. Gota cola, ginkgo, rosemary, one of the best herbs for Alzheimer's. Horton berries, one of the best herbs for Alzheimer's. And another herb called Schisanda berry, which is an adaptogen, meaning that it helps the patient to adapt to the stresses of life, but it also works on the central nervous system, help the brain, and lemon balm. All these herbs should be mixed together and take 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of hot water, cover it for 5 minutes, strain, and give your mother or father, uncle or aunt 3 cups per day with all the other stuff, and you'll be amazed. You understand? To see that Alzheimer's is being reversed naturally. Because, and don't forget, in order for here, this brain to function well, you have to have here and here functioning well. You can never ever let your parent, aunt, uncle, daddy, mommy be constipated, because they will never ever fix Alzheimer's disease. Never ever. This brain will be contaminated if this is contaminated. If this is clean and working well, your brain will function well. Bottom line. Let's talk about migraine sufferers now. I used to be a migraine sufferer. Migraine sufferer. Migraine sufferers, white people back. This herb, they take to make aspirin. You need that when you have migraine. Passion flower, wintergreen, peppermint, mix them together with tea. And once you have migraine, you are suffering from depleted, deficient in magnesium sulfate, B2 and niacin, and you will see that your migraine disappears unless you have cluster headache, because it's both are similar. And look at the food that you're eating that causes you to have the migraines. So, Jehovah God put all them herbs on the earth to clean your system up, to keep the brain functioning well. And you're going to come and tell me that there's no cure? There is a cure, because you are the cure. Once you clean your system up, keep the bowels clean, and you keep the blood healthy without being clogged with plaque in the walls, then you will see a difference. Using these things here, that Alzheimer's could be reversed. Give Jehovah God all the glory forever and ever. Amen.